Hello everyone, welcome to Testbook Super Coaching for Regulatory Bodies and we will start with the session. Yes, so very good evening to you all. PIB के सेशन में आप सबका स्वागत है and every Monday 6 p.m. we discuss the PIB news, we discuss the press information bureau and the important news from the last week हम उसका analysis करते हैं इस हमारे सेशन के अंदर, इस हमारे लेक्चर के अंदर. So once again, very good evening to you all. Before going to start this session, I want to tell you today we are going to discuss the news properly. Today we are not going to discuss the MCQs, but we'll talk about the news and we'll discuss and we'll analyze those news, what kind of important pointers are there for our exam point of view. For example, not only the coming next year's exam, but also for to create a proper mindset. For example, if you are preparing from the scratch, if you are reading the PIB for the first time, so you should know exactly what type of things are important for the exam, what kind of attitude should be there to carry out such kind of news, to carry out such kind of PIB's things. So for that reason, this session is very important. So I'll start with the session. I'll start with today's lecture. So once again, very good evening to every one of you. Guys, before going to start this session, I want to tell you, those who aid to subscribe our channel, first of all, please do subscribe the channel. And another thing, the current affairs lectures जो हम morning 9 AM लेते हैं, उसका थोड़ा सा time table change हो गया है. Now we are going to conduct this current affairs session on Monday, Wednesday and Friday. So weekly the session will be 3 times. Monday, then will be on Wednesday and will be on the Friday. So 3 days in a week we are going to conduct this session. 9 AM time frame will be same, 9 AM. But another thing is that on Saturday 9 AM we are going to revise. The whole week will be revised on Saturday, but the sessions will be 3 times a week, which are the normal current affairs discussion, and on Saturday we are going to revise the complete week. So in that way, the onwards, remember this timetable. For 9 AM session, 6 PM session will be as it is on every Monday. 6 PM we are going to discuss the PIB. So today's PIB discussion will be not on MCQ based. We are going to revise the news properly. That will be the major focus for the today's lecture. Okay, so I'll start with the session. Before going to start this session, if you have any questions, any kind of queries, so please let me know in the comment section. Okay, so the first news which we are going to discuss from the last week is the news is regarding the government extend the Samarth scheme for capacity building in textile sector till March 2026. So Samarth is the name of the scheme. This scheme belongs to textile sector. So there is a full form scheme for capacity building in textile sector under the Skill India ministry. Basically, they are not using the full form. Actually, the meaning of the scheme is very important. So this scheme was started in the year 2017-18. So scheme was started in 17-18. Then initially the scheme was only for 3 years. Then we are extending the scheme regularly. So again, Government of India extended the scheme till 2026. So 2024 में मींस इसी साल ये स्कीम बंद होनी थी, ये स्कीम खत्म होनी थी, इसे और एक्सटेंड किया गया 2026 तक. This is a very regular practice which Government of India is following these days, because if the same government is there, if the same Prime Minister is there, so rather than introducing the new schemes, we can carry forward the schemes which were announced earlier. The same thing is happening here. So now, what is the purpose of this scheme basically? The Samarth was a skill development scheme by the central government of India to address the skill gap in the textile sector. The purpose of this Samarth scheme is not to export or not to increase the production directly. The focus is on the skill development. So those who are already working in the skill industry, or the laborers or the employees under the skill, the textile mills or the different kind of textile industries, so provide them the skill or reskill them, upskill them. That is the major focus here. So many of the times they ask this question because the scheme is from 17-18. So 2-3 times the questions were asked in different exams. The question were, what is the purpose of Samarth scheme, or the Samarth scheme belongs to which sector, or for the skill upliftment, which of the following scheme launched by the Government of India? And these were a few pointers were asked previously. Now, what government mentioned recently? Now, first of all, the scheme from 24-25 to 25-26. For this time frame, how much amount of budget is being allocated? So 495 crore is the budget allocation for this time frame. Next thing is that 3 lakh individuals will be the focus of Government of India. So 3 lakh individuals will be trained under this scheme. So the extension 17-18 was the original year, right? That is a done part. Extension 24-25 to 25-26, the budget allocation 495 crore, 3 lakh employees or 3 lakh labor from the textile industry will be the major focus. Now the most important, this scheme is a demand driven scheme. Demand driven means if the industries are putting demand in front of government for the skill, then only this scheme will be provided. This is not a supply side scheme. Supply side means government is going to the textile industry and providing the skill. Nothing like that will happen. The industries need to approach government of India, and then government will provide the skill training over here. So it's a demand driven scheme, which is very important factor over here. Of course, the key areas एक्सक्लूडिंग स्पिनिंग एंड वेविंग, सो ये छोड़ के बाकी सारी चीजें यहाँ पे मेंशन की गई है अपस्किलिंग रीस्किलिंग के अंदर, एंड दैट इज द मेजर फोकस बिकॉज दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट. अगर ये सही से होता है तो पीएम मित्रा के अंदर जो हमारा फोकस है एक्सपोर्ट को बूस्ट करने का, वो भी हम अचीव कर पाएंगे. बिकॉज फर्स्ट थिंग एंड द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज दैट skill will create a good human resource, and this good human resource will be helpful for the development of the complete industry, and that's the factor, that's the focus mentioned here by the government of India. So यहाँ पे कोई गलती, यहाँ पे कोई मिस्टेक नहीं होनी चाहिए, यहाँ पे ध्यान रखेगा. ठीक है. Now implementing partner, of course textile industry association will be there because they are going to put the demand. Central government, state government will play the role because their agencies will provide the skill education and different kind of organizations. Till this time, the achievement is 3.27 lakh candidates are trained till this time, which is mentioned by government of India. Means from 17-18 to 24-25, these are the numbers. Now for this next few years, government is focusing on 3 lakh employees. That is the focus of government of India. Okay, so remember that. No, look, this is not for only organized workers. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Suppose someone is working for the textile industry, okay, for some textile company. So the labor can be unorganized because sometimes we are hiring the laborers for daily wages, or we are hiring the workers for the outsourcing angle. So if even we want to give them the skills, so we can provide them the skills. Suppose for example, I am having like a home business. मैं घर पे बिजनेस करता हूँ, बट आई वांट द न्यू स्किल्स, इवन आई कैन अप्रोच, okay, those people can also approach over there. So nothing that ki only for the organized workers, because organized workers in this sector are actually numbers are very less. In this sector mostly you will find the unorganized sector gig workers. So it is for everyone, not only focusing on the organized, remember. But once you get enrolled into this scheme, your data will be with government of India, and it will be helpful to calculate the GDP in future angle. So that will be the case. That is a different scenario altogether, a different scenario, but yes, available for each type of workers or each type of laborers working in this sector. So this is the first scheme, and the extension of the scheme was recently discussed during the cabinet meeting. Now in that cabinet meeting there is another discussion. That discussion is very, very famous these days. The dearance allowance or the dearance relief increased by government of India by 3%. So by considering the festival season, this is a regular practice during this Diwali's time or before the Diwali time. Government of India usually increase the dearance allowance for the government employees, central government employees, and they decided to increase the 3% dearance allowance for central government employees, as well as dearance relief for the pensionaries. So it's a very simple and the straightforward news. The most important factor for government exams point of view, or for the RBI Grade B exams point of view, or any kind of exam, these dearance allowances will be increased by considering CPI industrial worker. That is the major focus of government of India. So by considering CPI industrial worker, these things usually conducted by government. Now CPI industrial worker is calculated by Labor Bureau. So Labor Bureau of Labor Ministry is responsible for this. So now once we'll go to the numbers, 49.18 lakh central government employees will get the benefit, and 64.89 lakh pensionaries are going to get the benefit. So number of pensionaries are more here, but obvious under central government, and the number of employees, the number is little bit less over here. Many people are focusing on this data only, but I will say don't waste your time focusing on these data. Just you should know the basic numbers over here. That will be enough. Now how much impact it is going to create? So 9,448.35 crore per annum will be the impact, because of course if we are increasing the salaries, if we are increasing the pensions, obviously it will impact on the government treasury. Revenue receipt which we collect and the revenue expenditure which we spend. So this impact will be the part of revenue expenditure. So salaries and the pensions are the part of revenue expenditure. So yes, impact will be on the revenue side of Government of India's budget. The effect will be from the 1st of July. So increase will be now. The announcement is given right now, but the differences will be calculated from the July. So July, August, September, October. So all those months will be calculated and the amount will be provided in the month of November. So November में जब salary आएगी तो ये सारे months के calculation एक साथ आएंगे. So huge amount of salary will be there because the areas will be calculated. But anyways, we are not keeping watch on anyone's salary. We just should know 3% increase in the dearance allowance and few numbers which are important for the exam point of view. Now, All India Consumer Price Index, industrial worker is responsible for the calculation of this thing, which is calculated by the Labor Bureau, is important authority under the Labor Ministry. Mansukh Mandaviya sir is the Labor Minister right now. That will be enough. Okay. Now we'll move forward. The next news, yes, Cabinet approves construction of Varanasi Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay multi-tracking, including a new rail-cum-road bridge across the Ganga River. A very simple and the straightforward news. Now, many students are asking me one question, sir, अगर ये news अभी पढ़ेंगे तो 2025 में आएगी या नहीं आएगी? This kind of attitude is very, very dangerous. I want to tell you clearly. Okay. Your study should not be focusing on short-term goals. Your study should be focusing on the long-term goals. When we read, when we study, we need to remember one thing. Like in this year's RBI Grade B exam, we experienced few things that the whole year matters a lot. Your preparation should be very, very a broad angle preparation. Your preparation should not be a narrow-sighted or just notification आया तो ही पढ़ाई करनी है. Such kind of preparation, such kind of attitude is very dangerous for the preparation for clearing the exam. And this happened with the people. Still, they are having that kind of shortcut mindset. So, उनको मुबारक हो. आप लोग एक पॉइंट याद रखना, जब हम प्रिपरेशन करते हैं सो हम ये सोच के करेंगे कि हर चीज हमारे लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है, पढ़ने की आदत डालेंगे. When we have the habit of reading everything properly, it will not create chaotic situation when exams will come nearby. When notifications will come, it will not create chaotic situation. For those students who are trying to find out the shortcuts, कि कोई मुझे बता दे कौन सा क्वेश्चन आने वाला, कोई मुझे बता दे कौन सा ऐसे टॉपिक आएगा, कोई मुझे बता दे कि भाई मुझे सिर्फ यही पढ़ना है. सो जो शॉर्टकट माइंडसेट से पढ़ाई करते हैं उनके लिए बहुत प्रॉब्लमेटिक बन जाता है. देन दे ओनली थिंक अबाउट द अफवाज, दे ओनली talk about the different kind of shortcut ways. So it's always better, do your study properly, read your sources properly, regular basis. Definitely you are going to get the benefit not only in the pre but also in the mains, because mains is all about your wholesome reading, your wholesome understanding. So that will be the major concept. So anyways, I will move forward. The topic is about the Varanasi and Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay multi-tracking rail cum road bridge across the river Ganga. So let's talk about that. It's basically a multi-story building, a multi-story bridge. So a railway as well as road, both the things will be constructed. So total cost will be 2642 crore will be used over here, and rail cum road bridge across the Ganga River. So the two things will be there. That is a major focus. So a two-story bridge they are going to create. Such kind of bridges are already created by Government of India or the Road and Transport Ministry in few cities for metro and road. So metro and road bridges are already created. The first of such bridge were created in Nagpur, the metro and the road bridge. Okay. So same way we are creating on Ganga River railway and the road bridge. So that's why question will be asked. The name is also given to this bridge. The name is Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay multi-tracking bridge. That will be enough right now for the exam. Itna enough hai. What are the constructions related news, or the road and the bridge related news will be enough. Where exactly we are constructing that and how much amount of money we are spending. If you want, you can go through this also. The Varanasi to Chandoli district in Uttar Pradesh. So it is going to connect these two districts. Will helpful to connect these two districts basically, and that's the point here. That will be enough. One thing. Nowadays, Government of India started a new thing. Okay, not new thing means I will not say suddenly. They are putting such kind of numbers from the last 1.5 years. The numbers are regarding the employment. how much employment certain project is going to generate. This is the very important factor they are started adding these days. So whenever they are announcing such kind of schemes where infrastructure projects are there are some construction projects are there, so they are putting the employment generation also. So here 10 lakh human days of employment will be created under the construction of this bridge mentioned by Government of India. So that will be enough. Now the next news is very famous, and you people already know about that. Every time during Kharif and Rabi season, they discuss about this MSP, minimum support price. So every time before the Kharif season, before the Rabi season, these numbers will be already always announced by the Government of India. The reason is very simple. Before producing or before working on the crop, the farmer should know how much guarantee Government of India is providing. If in case something bad happens, if in case some issues happens like natural calamity or something else, so we can also increase these numbers of MSP. That will be the next part. But right now, before the production or before sowing the seeds, these announcements are usually done by the Government of India. Minimum support price for the Rabi season. The first of all, we should know some basic concepts. First, we'll talk about some basic concepts and then we'll go to the news. MSP, minimum support price. These numbers are basically recommended by Commission for Agriculture Cost and Prices. So CACP is responsible to recommend the numbers. They will recommend the number. The finalization will be always done by the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs. So they are going to finalize. प्राइम मिनिस्टर इसको हेड करेंगे, ये अमाउंट को फाइनलाइज करेंगे और ये बेसिकली सीएसीपी उसे रिकमेंड करेगा. सीएसीपी कम्स अंडर एग्रीकल्चर मिनिस्ट्री. नाउ टू फाइनलाइज दिस or to work on this, the first thing we should know, total 22 crops are there for which MSPs are announced, and one sugarcane for which we are announcing the FRP, fair and remunerative price. So FRP for sugarcane, and for 22 crops we are announcing the this MSP. Out of this 22, 14 crops comes under Kharif category, 6 crops under the Rabi category, and 2 under the commercial category. This classification is really very important. If you know this classification, it will be helpful to solve many questions, especially in the phase 1 as well as NABARD exam, some objective questions, because sometimes they ask which crops comes under the Rabi, which crops comes under the Kharif, how many crops are there. So in those ways they are asking the question. So 22 overall, out of which 14 Kharif, 6 Rabi, and 2 into the commercial category, and 1 is for the FRP. So now let's discuss which basis these calculations are done. So basically, the basis which we have discussed earlier also, A2, FL and C2. These are the three concepts here. A2, FL and C2. A2 is about the basic cost which we required for the agriculture production, like seeds, water, the hired labor, everything. So A2 is about the basic cost. FL, if your family is also the part of your agriculture production, means family labor, because family labor is usually we consider family labor as the unpaid family labor. So the family is also the part of your production, then FL will be included. And C2 is a very important factor, which is many of the times which is under discussion. C2 is all about if the farmer took the loan on that land, then interest payment. If the land is on rent, then that amount will be also considered. So lease amount or the interest amount will be the part of C2. A2 and FL. A2 is about the basic costing and FL is about the family labor. So by considering these factors, basically these calculations are done by the Government of India. MS Swaminathan Committee's recommendations are many of the times in news when it comes to MSP, minimum support price. Now we'll come to the current news. The current news is about MSP for the Rabi crop. So the total, look, the highest increase is with the masoor. So 300 rupees per quintal increase for the mustard. Sorry, so for the mustard 300 and for the masoor 275 per quintal. So highest increase is with the mustard and the rapeseed 300 per quintal. Whereas when it comes to the masoor, that is called lentil, 275 rupees per quintal. For wheat, 150 rupees per quintal is the increase. For barley, 130 rupees gram, 210. Masoor we already discussed, 275. Rapeseed, which is the highest, mustard and the rapeseed 300, and safflower is 140 rupees per quintal. So these are the number increase. So sometimes they ask the question, highest increased in which rabi crop? That can be the question. For wheat, how much increase is there? That is another question. So in that way, they can ask the question. For NABARD type of exam, this is really very important. So that's all about the MSP announcement by the government of India, which was recently done. I'll move forward. The new guidelines ban the use of words like natural, organic, etc. by the brands. So recently, Government of India's guidelines, especially Consumer Affairs Ministry's guidelines are there. So the words like natural, the word like organic should be banned. The reason is that many of the time people are using these words like just for the marketing purposes. Actually, they are not using any natural resource, they are not using any organic resource, but still they are putting the name. So this is called as a green washing. इसे हम green washing कहते हैं. Green washing is basically using the environment friendly words just to market your products. Actually, you are not doing anything which is environment friendly, or you are not using any organic or natural stuff. You are just putting these names for the marketing purposes, and that's why Government of India clearly mentioned this greenwashing and the misleading ads are not allowed. So for the consumer protection, this is the new guideline given. What are the products already in the market? Those products will be there, but the new products should not have such kind of a marketing gimmick. Unfortunately, the common people don't know about this. This should be in the common arena. Everyone should know about this, because if people will aware about this, automatically the production or the greenwashing of such kind of things will stop. Unfortunately, इसकी एडवर्टाइज इतनी नहीं होगी जितनी एडवर्टाइजमेंट शायद किसी सेलिब्रिटी के बारे में होगी या किसी बड़े इवेंट के बारे में होगी. दैट इज अ बैड प्रॉब्लम ऑफ इंडिया. बट रिमेंबर, ग्रीन वॉशिंग इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट. ग्रीन वॉशिंग मीन्स whenever someone is faking or the fake marketing is happening regarding the environmental products or the environment support. Same way we have the AI washing. Many people using this AI word just to market their stuff. They are not using AI actually. They're just using this AI concept so that the people should get attracted to their products, to their services. So although both those things are not taken well by the government of India, remember that. That's it. That's all from this particular news. Now, India's trade deficit reached a 5-month low, 20.78 billion in September 2024. So, trade deficit. These numbers or these news will be every month. So, Commerce Ministry every month providing some certain numbers regarding the trade deficit, regarding the current account deficit, regarding the export as well as import numbers of government of India. So we'll just go through a basic numbers, main numbers, not the everything. First of all, 5-month low, that can be the question in a simple way. The next is the trade deficit declined from 29.65 billion to 20.78 billion. So if it is low, then how much amount exactly is there, the difference? Then merchandise export rose marginally, 34 say 34.4. So 34.58, earlier it was 34.41, so marginal increase there. And import is still higher, 55.36 billion and 54.49 billion, so it is also increased. Service export 30.61 from 28.42, so it's a very good number over here. And the major countries जहाँ पे हम export करते हैं, US, UAE, Netherlands, UK and China, these numbers we already know. These numbers are already there. So these are every month data. Just every month हम बस इस data से go through करेंगे. The data which is important for the exam will say the annual data, mostly mentioned in the economic survey or given separately by the Commerce Ministry. That will be the major focus for the exam point of view. Remember that. Right now, if you not remember the data, it will be okay, fine. Okay, अगर आप data याद नहीं रख पाते तो भी चल जाएगा for few days, for the few months. Now, government recently launched a new initiative. The initiative is called as a Scam Se Bacho is the name of the campaign. So government and Meta is the mother company of Facebook, WhatsApp and Instagram. So this Meta and government of India came together and they started the concept called as a Scam Se Bacho to tackle the rising online scam. So it's very, very important. Of course, questions will be asked. Of course, the questions will be there. Now, the most important factor is that which ministries are involved here, which ministries are the part of this. So Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, then Ministry of Home Affairs, then Ministry of Information Broadcasting and I4C. I4C comes under Home Ministry only. So these ministries and one of the institution and the Meta, they came together and they started this campaign. Recently, I4C also announced that Rashmika Mandana as the new brand ambassador of this particular authority. So that can be the another question. So remember that Rashmika Mandana, she is the brand ambassador of I4C, appointed by the Home Ministry, and the ministries are there: Electronics Information Technology, Home Affairs, and Information Broadcasting. So that will be enough for the exam point of view. That's it. Scam Se Bacho is the name of the campaign. The awareness come kind of a action taking campaign. Both the things will be there. So Meta will help, because the use of Meta is too much in our country. Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook, the highest number of consumers, they are using these three apps or these three social media channels are maximum in India. And that's why they started with this campaign, so that the awareness can spread to the people very easily. That's it. That's all about this Scam Se Bacho national movement mentioned by the government. Now the next is very simple news. Very sorry, there is some technical glitch over here. Okay, but okay, we'll cover the news properly. Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh dedicated India's first airport-based self-powered indoor air quality monitoring facility at Thiruvananthapuram International Airport. Now winter is coming, and when winter is coming, there are so many news regarding the air quality or the air pollution, etc. That's why we need to focus on this factor. यहाँ पे हमें थोड़ा सा ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा ये exactly क्या चल रहा है, कैसे चल रहा है. So ये एक factor ध्यान रखेगा, which is really very important whenever the winter season is there. And now onwards, we are going to see so many news regarding the air pollution. So it is one of the first news. So this is the air monitoring system, a self-powered air monitoring system, which was recently created by the CSIR NIST. The campus of CSIR NIST is in Thiruvananthapuram only, and that's why they created and they established this new system in Thiruvananthapuram International Airport. The name of this particular platform which they have created is called as a Pavan Chitra. So Pavan Chitra is the name of the this system which they have implemented. Why Science and Technology Minister was there to inaugurate this? Why not Civil Aviation Minister? Because this system is created by Science and Technology Ministries, CSIR NIST, and which is in Thiruvananthapuram. So that is the main reason behind that. Just you should know the name of this. In the next year, it will be helpful to write down the answers, or even this can be asked in the MCQ angle. MCQ angle में पूछ सकते, because India का ऐसा पहला ये self-powered air quality monitoring system है, which is always in news, which will be always important for the exam. The next news is not directly from the PIB, but it will be the part of PIB very soon, because the DY Chandrachud Saab is going to retire very soon. In the month of November, he will be retiring, and that's why he announced his successor. Basically, under article number 124 of Indian Constitution, we have the system. The outgoing CGI should tell about the successor. The successor of Chandrachud Sahab will be Justice Khanna. Justice Khanna is the senior most judge of our Supreme Court. So Justice Sanjeev Khanna will become the 51st Chief Justice. But he will be only for 6 months, because obviously his retirement is also nearby. But again, he's a senior most judge, so he will handle the baton from the Chandrachud Sahab for the next 6 months. If we'll talk about him, he was the one of the rare example, because the Justice Sanjeev Khanna was never a Chief Justice of any High Court. He was a judge of the High Court, Delhi High Court, and then he was recruited as a High Court judge of Supreme Court judge, senior most Supreme Court judge. So he was never a Chief Justice of any High Court. So it is one of the rare example, but he's one of the very famous. He also the part of electoral bond ruling, which was given by the Supreme Court. So he was a part of that particular bench also. Now, like I have mentioned about Article 124, so this is the whole process. CGI will recommend the successor, will go to the Law Minister. Law Minister will send it to the Prime Minister. Then Prime Minister will advise the President of India for the recruitment. So this is in general process which happens in our country with respect to the Chief Justice of India. Now, this is the eligibility criteria. The Chief Justice should be the citizen of India, the first thing. The second thing, he served as a judge of High Court for at least 5 years judge of High Court for at least 5 years or serve as the advocate of the High Court for the last 10 years or at least for 10 years. So इस दोनों में से कुछ एक चल जाएगा. And last thing is also important. If अगर ये एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है बट डिस्टिंग्विश जूरिस्ट इन द आईज ऑफ प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया, अगर प्रेसिडेंट को लगता है कि डिस्टिंग्विश जूरिस्ट है तो उसे भी चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया अपॉइंट कर सकते हैं. तो ये भी एक फैक्टर बहुत जरूरी होगा हमारी एग्जाम के लिए. ओके फाइन, आई विल टेक द लास्ट न्यूज एंड देन विल स्टॉप, फिर हम रुक जाएंगे. ओके, द लास्ट न्यूज इज अबाउट इंडो टर्की फ्रेंडशिप एसोसिएशन which was created in Hyderabad. So India and Turkey together decided to create a friendship association, but that will not be created in Delhi, that will be created in Hyderabad. So that is a very, very important news. First of all, Turkey, the capital is Ankara and lira is the currency. So very, very important country, is basically a link between Asia and the Europe. So Black Sea is on one side and Mediterranean Sea on the another side. So one of the very famous historical, cultural, as well as a kind of a trade-oriented country. Now, the friendship association between these two countries will focus on obviously tourism, culture, science, and technology. That will be the major focus. Why we are creating in Hyderabad? Because the many tourists from the Turkey, they are visiting mostly to Hyderabad. So the number of tourists visiting to Hyderabad from Turkey is very huge, and that's why they decided to create this friendship association center in Hyderabad. That is the main reason. That's it. Baki to enough rahega exam point of view. That is more than enough for us. This is important news because we are providing funds to Mauritius. So 487.60 crore line of credit will be provided to Mauritius. Mauritius is a very small island country in African continent. So it is nearby Madagascar. So first we'll go through the some important factors, some important data regarding this country. So Port Louis is the capital. Jagannath is the prime minister, and rupee is the currency, Mauritian rupee, but obviously. So here is the African continent. Madagascar is there, in a small island country. This country is very important for India for two reasons. One, they are the one of the highest FDI providing or FDI investing country in India. Second largest FDI source coming to India from Mauritius after Singapore, and huge population is an Indian origin population in this country, and that's why it's really, really crucial for the India's point of view. Now we are providing them the fund. SBI is going to handle this fund, but this fund will be provided for their water pipeline. So there is an issue with their water pipeline, and for that purpose, the government of India is ready to provide them 487.60 crore line of credit. Line of credit is basically a fund will be created. Whatever the amount they will require, they will just fetch the amount from this fund, and how much amount they will use, and that amount they are going to return us back with the interest rates. It's not necessary that all 487 crores will be used. If they are using only 400 crore, then they will return that money back with the certain interest rates. So SBI is going to handle on behalf of government of India. So these were the important PIB news of the last week for the exam point of view. There are certain extra news mentioned in this particular presentation, which I will share on our Telegram platform. वहां से आप एक बार उसको download कर सकते हैं. So that's all, guys. Again, I want to repeat, our timetable for the 9 a.m. session is being changed. The 9 a.m. session will be 3 times a week: Monday, Wednesday, and will be on Friday. Saturday we are going to revise the whole week. पूरे week को हम Saturday को revise करेंगे, and on Monday, of course, there will be a PIB session. So our sessions are going to be lesser for few weeks or for few days. The reason is the RBI exam is recently over, so the cooling off time is there. So that's why we are just going to cover 3 days a week current affairs. Saturday will be the revision of the whole week, and Monday will be the PIB. PIB will be as it is. We are not going to stop with that. Okay, so remember that. That's all, guys, from my side for the day. We'll see you in the next session. Bye bye. Take care.